Welcome in, everybody. I'm Erin. For those who don't know me, I'll be teaching your step-by-step acrylic painting tutorial today. Welcome in. Thanks for joining me here on Twitch. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to teach you, of course, step-by-step how to create the painting beside me. The painting doesn't have a name. I always keep it nameless so that you guys can give me suggestions on what to name it. So if you guys want to put anything in chat right now, I can read them all later. Thank you. I use the titles, or one title, I guess, to put in my YouTube title when I eventually upload this to YouTube, so that's why I always ask for names. For those who don't know, I do, again, upload all of my tutorials to YouTube eventually. You can go to youtube.com/erinbunpaints to see all of my past acrylic painting tutorials, as well as this one soon, hopefully in the next week or so. I know I'm a tiny bit behind, but we will keep catching up. We'll keep uploading the tutorials. They're all going to end up there eventually. So I guess throughout the tutorial, you're more than welcome to ask me questions in the chat. That's why I do this live, so you can check in with me if you need me to repeat anything, or if something's going wrong. You can, of course, try and describe it, and I can try and help you. So feel free to use the chat however you like as I go along here. And I'm happy to help you with whatever you want. Keep in mind that you're welcome to change up the painting design if you like. So if you don't like certain colors in the design, maybe you're not a fan of like the sunset look with the yellow, you can change it to blue. You can change this to all purpley snow rather than putting the ice in the background. You can change the orientation of the elk. You can do something completely different. Maybe this is just like artistic inspiration for you and you're like happy hanging out with everyone on a Friday and you want to paint something else or mold something else or draw something else. More than welcome to do that. You won't be kicked out for that. There's no rules here. You can do anything you like. So I'm just happy that you're inspired to do any sort of art on a nice Friday night at home. So yeah, do whatever you need to do. In terms of materials, you can always check in on the materials by typing !supplies in the chat. It's always the same materials tutorial to tutorial. So I host these about once a week, usually on Friday nights, and I always stick to the same 5 paint colors, the same 3 brushes, and then the same 16 by 20 canvas. Those are all flexible though. If you have different paint colors, obviously that's okay. Those are just kind of like the very basics you need. All the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, and then black and white for shading. I'll show you my brushes in case anyone needs a visual on those. We have a large flat, we have a medium round, and we have a small round. So pretty much just like a big brush, a medium brush, a small brush, just for variety. And then I'd recommend having a paint palette of any kind. We have my baby volcano plate still working its way up. I'd recommend having a cup of water. I just use my little yogurt cup. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I hope you're wearing some sort of an apron. Thank you, Terry, as always, for the apron. That was her that made this here. Yeah, apron or just anything you don't mind getting paint on is useful. And that's pretty much it for materials. Again, I try and keep it super, super basic so that pretty much anyone can join in with what they have. And I think that's all. I guess otherwise, if you're interested, you're welcome to check out my past tutorials again on YouTube. I already mentioned that. I would check out Facebook if you want to keep track of upcoming tutorials, because I always post Facebook events to let you know what's coming up next and when. And that's facebook.com/erinbunpaints. And then Instagram is a good way to see all of my past designs kind of all in one place. And I also post just regular, oh wow. My hair came undone. Yeah, I post all of my other personal art on there too, so if you're interested in that, you can check that out. Instagram.com/erinbunpaints. This is going to be very loose here, but that's fine. For all of you who said you like my hair, it just went bust, so we're fine. Anywho, that's my spiel. I'll do my quick little toast and then we can get started. Okay, cool. Thanks for your patience, everybody. That was a little bit to start off there with the chat and everything, and then my hair doing its thing. It's fine, though. It's fine. Here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm actually painting along with you, for those wondering. So you can see the original above me. It's just on my computer screen here. And then I'm going to paint everything with you step by step, so it's a little bit easier to understand what I'm describing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the top of the painting here, the background. And I chose to do kind of like a sunset, sunrise type thing. A lot of people were catching that. Sunrise elk, sunset elk. So I'm starting with a nice light yellow on top. I'll teach you how to blend it into more of a like bright yellow, and then we're going to go down to a soft orange to get that nice transition going. So let's start with 2 colors. We're going to mix together white and yellow. So I'm just going to grab those and pour them on my plate here. I would say probably about even amounts, maybe a little bit more white It really, that's really up to you, as all of these colors are. I mean, of course you want to get kind of close to what I'm getting if you like my painting, but at the same time, it's really more important that you're just doing something you like, right? So if you make a slightly brighter yellow and it makes you happy, then use that. You don't need to keep lightening it or darkening it compared to mine. I'll be using the large flat brush to begin with, so I would dip it in your water to start. I just kind of dip and then dab it off on my paper towel. And then, as I said, I'm going to mix yellow and white together. I would say about half-half, maybe a little extra white, just to keep it nice and light to begin with, because it will brighten up later on. See that difference there? A nice light yellow. Oh yeah, Charlene, I understand. They always worry me too, honestly, but I think you can do fine. I kept him relatively straightforward, kind of looking straight at us. There's not a lot with the body. There's a little bit of the back end showing, but not a whole lot. I trust you can do it. I believe. Alright, we're going to start by going back and forth, left and right, with our first color, this nice light yellow. I'm going to bring it down definitely less than 1/4 of the way. That's probably like a couple inches. I don't know. I always use my fingers. It's like 5 fingers. If you put all your little fingers together, I know everyone's hands are a little bit different, but roughly 5 fingers on the way down there. Very professional measuring strategies during my toots. Staggering beauty. Sorry I had to. I actually like that though. I like my puns. Grokey, it's clever. Staggering beauty. Because he is a beauty too. My goodness. Now, acrylic paint is great because you can do stuff while it's on the canvas. So I've already applied my yellow. I thought it looked a little bit bright compared to my original. So just for me, I'm going to put some white on top and blend it in. And you can see it slightly lightens up the color. You can just kind of add things on top as the paint is still wet. Mix it in, create a somewhat new color. It'll be obviously similar, but like I'm doing, I'm just adding white to lighten it up, blending it in, just going back and forth. And now it's a nice light yellow. It's a little bit lighter than it was before, so you can always do the opposite if you want to add more yellow or more of a different color. You can always do that as long as the paint is still wet. It stays wet for probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Closer to 10. Closer to 10. It dries pretty quick. And then if you want, you can kind of wrap the paint around the sides if you're using a canvas like I am. I just wouldn't forget about the sides. Those are very important as well, so you can see the whole painting around any angle. I'll just give a quick minute or two and then we're going to go on to the next color because we want to add the next color and blend it before the previous color dries. So it's always a little bit of a race to keep up with it. A+. Everyone loves a Grokey, see? Brittany, hey! Hello, painting time. Wee! Welcome in, my toots. You heard it. Yep. Yeah, I legit call them my toots now. It was something I kind of did just as a short form, Brittany, but it's really stuck. Everyone's like, when is toot time? I'm excited for this toot. And it's like, okay, I guess they're called toots now. Tutorials toots. Welcome in, Brittany. Love to shout you out here if I can get that figured out. There we go. There we go. For anyone who doesn't know, Brittany also streams beautiful art. She does a lot of different things, so please check her out if you haven't, but I know a lot of you are familiar with her already. She's always doing different things on her channel. Oils, resin, dice. That thing with the heat that transfers designs onto the canvas. I forget what it's called, but I learned the one time. Yup, toots. I literally spell it like T-E-O-T though. My toots, just like you did before. Straight yellow or yellow mixed with white? It's yellow mixed with white, Marion. Yeah, we're starting with a lighter yellow, then we'll go further down. Staggering sunrise. Oh, now you're getting good with the puns, everybody. Thanks, Canine answered Marion there. Sounds good. Magic. Yeah, of course, always. Sublimation. I need to remember that. Wookie knows it. Wookie's right in on it. She's like, I know it. All the friends are here. Okay, guys, so we've got our light yellow, so I'm just going to move on again relatively quick because we don't want that to dry. So I'm just going to use the same brush. You don't even need to wash it off. I'm just going straight into yellow now. And you can see it's a lot brighter than our previous color because we mixed the previous color with white. So we're just going to add that beneath the light yellow. How far down? Probably about 1/3-ish. So if you want to mark about 1/3, fill in that whole area. You can see I'm just really blobbing it on. When I'm doing blending and kind of doing just large amounts of color, I just scoop it on my brush. I go whoosh, then just plop it on, spread it around. You have time to spread it around. Not a lot of time, but you do have time. So you can just wipe it back and forth. And then we want to make sure it's blended. Right now it's not blended. You can kind of see two very separate sections versus in the original it's all a very soft transition. So to get that, all we need to do is we just need to take our brush, go in between those two colors, and I'm just brushing left and right. And your brush will pick up a little bit of both colors. It'll pick up the wet light yellow and the wet regular yellow, and it'll kind of mix them together in that section. So you can see I'm just hovering in that area. Maybe I go a little higher up, maybe a little higher or lower down. Higher down. Very good, very good. Yeah, and you're just kind of mixing them together to get a nice smooth transition. There's no more line there. It's just now light to dark. We don't know where it stops and where it ends. When does the light yellow become darkly yellow? We don't know because of its blend. There it goes. So I'll just give you a quick minute if you're working on that. Again, we want to go a tiny bit quick just for the next blend. Once we get that blend done, though, we can take a couple extra minutes if anybody needs it. You cry, Phlogiston? Why you cry? Bible thump. Did you not like the blend? What happened? You wanted it separate colors? Bible thump, Bible thump. The saddest emote I've ever seen, honestly. That Bible thump just rips my heart apart when I see it. Like, how can I make it right? That poor thing. The what face is something else, but Bible thump really tears at my heartstrings. The little glisten in the eyes. I'm so glad it's a global emote. Alright, if you're done with that yellow and blending, you can wash off your brush just in preparation. It's not necessary we always wash our brush, especially if we're using similar colors, which we are doing in this blend. But sometimes it's just good to wash it off so you can kind of start fresh with your brush. Yuck, gross. I just squeezed out a bunch of water on my hand. Yeah, because sometimes there's a lot of paint in the bristles and then it kind of gets nice and thick, right? And that's just a little bit harder to work with, so... Whoa. Oh, okay. I don't know why that popped up so suddenly. Thanks, Gray, for contributing. I just saw, like, the pop-up banner come up. Painting with bathroom supplies in 39K. It's just a timer, I guess. Cool. Just to remind everybody. Neato, neato. I thought it was a bun. I could make a bun like that, though, Phlogiston, like a Bible thumpy bun. We have one with the big, like, you know, upside down D. Wah, but he's not really crying. I could make a sad, like, really upset bun. KR Cat says hello. Hey, hello, KR Cat. Does he have little glasses on just like him? Got to paint some deer. My friend recently bought a house in the mountains. Oh, very cool. And you're going to use one of the photos as reference? That would be so cool, Flying Socksquid, if you did. Because we had 25. Ah, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. It is bun-shaped. I know. I never really thought of it that way, but Phlogiston's right on the money. And again, it's like, I could do a crying bun. We have crying laughing bun. We have the Erinbu D, which is more like a shocked bun, I would say. He's not really crying. He's just like, what the? What is that? But we can have a very, very sad bun. It just makes me sad to think we would use a sad bun ever. We just want to be happy all the time. Anywho, let's move on to the next color. So I'm using the same brush. As I said, I did wash it off. It's not completely necessary. It's just kind of good to do every now and then. And on my plate here, I'm going to mix together two colors. Again, I'm going to mix together yellow and red. Yellow and red. I would say you're using more yellow than you are red because my orange in my original is a little softer. So you can see I used a lot of yellow there, just a little bit of red. But again, it's your painting. If you want a nice fiery orange, like a little bit brighter, just use a little more red in there versus I'm keeping with the yellow. More yellow, rather. In terms of how far down, I would say we're reaching about halfway at this point. So I'm going to go halfway and I'm going to bring it up to my nice bright yellow. Post one in Discord. Cool, cool. Yeah, I'd love to see what you're looking at. If you are using as reference. Or rather, just the nice, beautiful photos. I love my nature photos. Bible bun. Bun thump. Either way. Is this not a crying bun? Kappa. He be crying, but for a good reason. He's laughing so hard that he's crying. Ever done it? Do you know how that feels, sir? Sad bun when hair ties. Oh my god. For real. It could have been a very big Bible thump moment when that hair tie. You don't understand. I was so perplexed because I put like 4 hair ties in there. They were the crappy elastic kind, but they were still like 4 of them sitting in there because I knew that would happen. Whenever I do pigtails, I load it up with a couple each, and then usually one is able to hang on, but for some reason they just decided to snap. They just had enough, and they're like, we're out of here. They lasted a solid 45 minutes or so. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm putting that orange on everybody, and then of course blending it up, so you can see I'm going in between the yellow and orange, back and forth, same as I did with those 2 yellows. Trying to get it nice and faded. You can see my orange is probably a little brighter than my original, so despite using all that yellow, it still turned out a little bit brighter. So if you want to alter it, if yours is bright and you don't like it, you can keep adding yellow on top and kind of blending it in, or you can even use a little white if you want to try that. Yellow should work though, it'll keep lightening it up into more of a, yeah, yellowy orange. Very soft. Thank you for the follow, Navito. Hello. Navito Ceramics. You do some ceramics? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love watching those kind of streams. I don't know if you stream, but yeah, those are very satisfying. So welcome in. Glad to have another creative in here. All right, so I'm blended, so I'm just gonna leave that be for a couple minutes just as everybody catches up if you need to, and then we're gonna go right along to the next step underneath there. BRB No Worries Phoenix. I just like the love. Aw. He is pretty cute. I like his little blush. We need more blushy buns. No, I don't know how that feels. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I was leaning into the sad boy there. I'll definitely be using some of them for reference. Cool, cool. Yeah, I would love to see them despite, yeah, despite that flying sock squid. Brittany, hey everyone. Hope you're all doing well. You too, Brittany. I saw your message about the jellyfish. I don't know if you can hear me today, but I'm gonna respond verbally. Yeah, and it just kind of got me thinking that maybe I could make one. I honestly don't have any thoughts or like links to tutorials for jellyfish, and that's why I was like, that would be a good one. I don't think I've really seen one, honestly, so maybe even next week, Brittany. Like, I'm really inspired by that idea, so I might even just cook one up myself, and then you're welcome to use mine as inspo. We'll see. We haven't done an underwater painting in a long time, and it would be cool to go back underwater, honestly. Shay, thanks for contributing. Gotta go pick up my pizza. Sounds good. Sounds great, Shay. Yep. Maybe I'll see you later. If not, enjoy that pizza. Oh my gosh. Got him. Oh, I laughed, not cry. Thanks for the lurk, Shay. Jellies are lovely. Yeah, yeah. I just thought it was an amazing idea. We're having hair elastics breaking when painting. I kind of miss my long hair sometimes. Grow it out. Now is the time. Angel or mermaid? That's just a request, Charlene. I'm doing a blacklight jellyfish. Oh, okay. I don't know when. I'll send a picture for reference. Okay, yeah. Feel free. Okay, a blacklight one. So, yeah, you'd probably have to alter mine if I do one, but you can still use it as inspo, of course. Yeah, I'd love to see the reference. Angel or mermaid? Yeah, mermaid would be another good underwater one. We'll think about it. Oh, November. Okay, pretty fresh. You can still get back to it, though. So I'm just washing off my brush in preparation. I'll give maybe one more minute, everybody. Want to paint again? Yeah, I know you've said that. I hope it's soon, Brittany. Oh, that's beautiful. See, that's... Oh, I love that. I might use that as heavy inspiration. I'll look up a few other photos. And that is a blacklight one, isn't it? It looks very, very neon. Ooh, wow. I hope you can figure that out with blacklight. That would be so, so cool. That's a lot of different colors, too. It's very rainbow. A water bear? Do I not know what a water bear is? I don't think so. Oh. Oh, I've seen these little boys. How would I do this? Oh, interesting. They're very unique. Hi everyone, today we're painting a water bear. I'm gonna keep this up on a tab. They're kind of cute. They're kind of cute. As you said, I'd make it adorable. I trust you, lol. I could see playing around with one of those. We would see it. Debating of bubbles, though. I like bubbles. Also like your black like fish. Right. I gotcha. Yeah, the one you have already. The bubbles are cute. I think the bubbles were cute to kind of fill up the background a bit, Brittany, from the reference you sent. I thought they were good. Shannon, hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Good evening. How was your day? Tardigrades. It sounds like you guys know what she's talking about. I did not. I've seen them before. I couldn't have placed them as water bear, though. Like their shape with a headband with bear ears. Like in Among Us. Suspicious. Suspicious. And a scarf. All cozy. Pizza time for you, Phoenix. My gosh. Exactly. Yeah, Brittany. That's pretty much... I just Googled it. Went straight to images. Was not disappointed either. He's a cute little boy. Dolphins and mermaid. Yeah, dolphin is a good idea, too. Again, mermaid is still on my brain, though, too. That might be a cool one. Okay, so we've got the sky on, everybody. I just wanted to, again, give a chance to catch up on chat, but also give you time to blend if you needed. Should be enough time now. We're going to go and we're going to do the ice. This is intended to be ice. I've talked to a few people about this, and they're like, is it ice? I thought it was kind of a lake. My intention was that we had kind of an ice patch right here, and then some snow in the foreground. Again, if you don't like that, you're welcome to change it up. I won't be offended. If you don't like that part, you can make all snow or all ice, whatever you want, but I'm gonna do both. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my large flat brush that I've been using. I just washed it off, so give a chance to wash it off whenever you're ready. And I'm gonna go to my plate and I'm going to mix together lots of white with just a tiny bit of blue. The blue I use specifically is phthalo blue, P-H-T-H-A-L-O. I find it's just a very bright, beautiful blue, but you can technically use whatever blue you like. It'll just kind of give you a little bit of a different tone. So if your blue looks a tiny bit different when you mix it all together, it's probably just because you have a different kind of blue, like an ultramarine or a cobalt blue. There's lots of different blues out there, but I like my phthalo blue. See how bright it is? Especially when you mix it with white, you can see it very, very bright. So lots of white, a little bit of blue. Decent day, get together, demo project. Cool, Shannon, cool. 1-2 at Levasol. Mizzy, thank you for hosting and welcome in. Nice to see you. So I'm just going to place that right below my orange. I'm trying my best not to leave a gap, but of course your orange might be a tiny bit wet. So I'm just being very careful and trying to bring it as close as possible. Maybe touching a little bit. Maybe your orange is a little more dry than mine, but I have a little blob or two there. So I'm just being very careful as I wipe across. You can see I maybe picked up orange there, so I just wiped off my brush, grabbed more of my light blue, and then I'm gonna go in again. Because again, we're not trying to blend this, we're just trying to create a horizon line where the ice is kind of reaching the sky here. So again, maybe there's a tiny bit of a blend, that's okay. We can always touch that up a little bit later. In fact, you can see I do a little bit of white along the top, and we can always do that after. We don't need to do that right now as things are still wet. Don't like the water bear, says Julia. Oh, I think he's really cute. They're on the moon? Didn't you do a mermaid for a custom? Did I? It's so bizarre, Brittany, how I forget my own paintings sometimes. Did I do a mermaid for a custom? Let me think about that. I don't think I did. I've done mermaids in my past life, just not like online through me. I'm trying to think though. If anyone remembers me ever doing a mermaid on Twitch, let me know. I'm using light blue that I mixed on my plate, and I'm just putting that, I would say, about 3/4 of the way down. If you're nervous about how far down you should go, I would go a little further than you need to, because we can always overlap with the white and the purple if we need to. So I wouldn't worry too much about going too far down. I would instead be worried about the opposite, not bringing it far down enough, because then you're going to have gaps. So I'm going about 3/4 of the way down, wiping back and forth with my light blue. Oh, I've got this alert here. Let's get rid of that. Please don't do her sitting on a rock. Is there a reason, Phoenix? You'd rather her swimming around? I could see either way. Love my phthalo green. Yeah, any phthalo, I almost said flavored paint. That's not correct. I want to eat the paint. Yeah, any phthalo pigmented colors are beautiful. Phthalo green is similar. Very bright, very bold. Ursula. Ooh. Yeah, I couldn't get her too close. Again, I like to be careful about copyright and not taking, like, full ideas that way, but I could do some sort of, like, octopus type evil, yeah, evil vibe, you know? If you need the shape of a mermaid for inspo, I know a place. Do you? Imagine. Can you get me a quality photo, though? It is pretty, Shannon. Fun fact, Ursula's design is based off 1970s drag queen Divine. Oh, I didn't know that! Are you a mermaid? No, I don't think you did. I think it was a girl swimming on water. A girl swimming... Oh! Well, yeah, I did that. You're right. And honestly, Brittany, that week I forgot I did that painting because people started saying, I loved your underwater painting. And I was like, what? I didn't do an underwater painting. And I did. So that's why I'm referencing recently. I don't know what it is. Recently, my memory's just shot in terms of my painting designs. I've done so many, I guess, that it's all kind of blending together. So once I have the light blue on everybody, I'm going to start blending in some white streaks. I started kind of doing that, but I want to show you a little bit more in depth here. So I'm just grabbing white on my brush. And I'm just very lightly wiping it on top. I don't want to blend it in too much because I like the idea of seeing the white. That's kind of what I was trying to do to make it look icy, was I was trying to do some white streaks, kind of like people have been skating on it or something, or there's some snow blowing on top. So I'm kind of blobbing the white onto my brush and then lightly wiping back and forth, and then that way you can still see it, just some faint white streaks. You can always add more after the blue is dry if you want them more prominent, but personally I kind of like them just kind of poking in. So again, they kind of blend in. Some of them might stick around a little brighter like that one, but in the end it's just a nice variety of blues and whites in there. I will add white on top later because my orange is a little bit wet and it's just going to keep mixing if I try it now. So if you're having the same issue, you can just join me in a couple minutes to do that after. Yeah, the girl underwater, that's what it was. And we almost turned her into a mermaid. I think that's what we're thinking of, yeah. Yeah, it was Counting Sleeps' redemption. There was talk of the girl. Exactly, Phoenix. I think that's what we're all thinking of. It was like, we almost made her a mermaid. When talking about different deodorants, I say flavors instead of scents. I don't mean to, it just happens. It's kind of what just happened to me. Normal description. I kind of like that though. I think we've talked a little bit about like soaps looking tasty, things like that, so it makes sense that you're like, oh, they're flavored grape, you know? And it's funny, Poppy. I see, Phoenix. Okay, you just want some variety. I appreciate that. That makes sense. Overdone. Interesting. Okay. Use absolutely no pressure, just like an angel's wing. Perfect, Bob. That is what I'm doing, everybody. I'm not using a lot of pressure. I'm using but an angel's wing of pressure, so there you go. Lightly wiping it on. He knows. Exactly. Oh, we've got a raid! Oh my goodness! Oh, how do I pronounce? Odo, is that right? Odido? Oh my goodness. Thank you for the raid. Hello! Welcome in, everybody. I'm Erin. I'm just doing an acrylic painting tutorial right now. People are painting along with me as I teach a painting step by step. I'm teaching this one. So welcome in, guys. Oh, I don't know if I'm pronouncing right. Odo. Oh my goodness. Is it French? Francais? Let me know what you were working on. What was up in your stream? Messy bun eating pizza leftovers would be different. Luke, I see you. Welcome in. Thanks for the follows. Heather, Pocket, nice to see you. Thank you very much. Welcome in, guys. Again, I paint with acrylics. I'm doing a Odo. Thank you, lady. Thank you very much. Odo. Gotcha. Yeah, my French roots. Oh no, oh no. I took French in high school. I am Canadian, so this is embarrassing to me. Odo. Arrow, thank you for the follow as well. Big hype, big hype. Thanks for shouting out Odo. Doing some just chatting. If you want to chat about your stream a little bit more, Odo, I'm so down. And thanks for coming over. Thanks for bringing everyone over here. Were you doing some painting? It looks like you were. Despite being in just chatting, maybe you stopped at the end. Beautiful work. So usually I show off things on screen, Odo, but just because I'm doing a tutorial, we have actually people painting along, so I don't want to, you know, divert their attention because they might be looking at this and looking at this. But trust me, everyone, when I say you're gonna want to see what this guy was painting. This is beautiful. Please go click on his channel right now if you're interested. Beautiful blossoms. The tree detail's insane. I'm just whipping through the VOD here. Peacock. Oh my god. And look, he has jellyfish in the top right. We were just talking about jellyfish. So big welcome in, Odo. Let me see if I can catch up with chat. Maybe I should do curvy one, my skinny ones. Yeah. Thank you for the follow, Odo. I really appreciate it. Welcome in my cake day. You on Reddit or what? Hi, Odo. I see you in the chat there. Hello. Adido. Deneg, I see you. Golf Shrimpy. That's a fun name. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. This is lovely. Yes, you're pronouncing it right. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we got quite a crew today. Thank you. I'm glad I'm pronouncing your name right. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm so embarrassed because I took French in high school and I am Canadian, so this shouldn't be a thing for me. But yes, welcome in. I'm from Texas, don't worry, okay? I'm Canadian too, lady. So cool. Don't be embarrassed. Yeah, I quit French in grade 9. I honestly couldn't handle it. Yeah, I'm not a language English person, honestly. I'm more of a logic math type and creative, I would say, rather than languages. Thanks, Odo. I appreciate it. Have you peeped in here before? And thank you again for choosing us. Yeah, big shout out for Odo again for anyone curious. Our Canadian French system, oh, I could go on and on about it, and I will in a second. Sherry, hi, I'm from Kansas. Is this recorded? I am late. Welcome in. It's recorded and then posted to YouTube, actually. Yeah, if you want to see this and any of my other tutorials, they're all on YouTube. I have like 50 on there right now, and I'm going to continue uploading them. So if you want to see this from the start, Sherry, you can go onto YouTube within the next week and I'll repost it. Otherwise, you can actually go backwards right now in this video and kind of watch from the start live right now. So if you'd like to, you're totally welcome to. Otherwise, it will be on YouTube. No worries, Sherry. I'm going to just go on to the next step, everybody. I want to keep chatting, and I will, but it's important to me to keep on track here with the painting for those painting along. So thank you again, Odo. And if you got a raid and run, I understand. But if you want to hang out and chat, I will keep chatting with you in a second. So thank you again. Thank you so much again. I will be checking you out. I have you on a tab, and I have now followed you. And I'd love to see more of what you do. So thank you. Okay, so we've got our ice on, everybody. We want to put the nice kind of rolling hills of snow on next. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do just plain white first, and then I'm going to blend the purple in. So I'm still using my trusty large flat brush. You can wash it off whenever you're ready. And I'm getting a nice big pile of white on my plate. Opening the lid first, that would be helpful. Pouring it all out. Here we go. Nice big pile of white. And like I said, you can use this to overlap your blue. The blue might still be a tiny bit wet, so you might see it blend just a teensy bit. But otherwise, you can see it'll kind of go right on top. You can make some nice rolling hills, so that's what I'm going to do. I have a nice big bump over here. I've got a nice big bump over here. And the main goal is there's just that we're not leaving any gaps, right? We don't want to leave any gaps in between the ice and the snow. So you can see there, the blue might come through a tiny bit, but I'm not worried. I just want to make sure I'm getting lots of white on here. So I'm still grabbing my white, just applying it on. And then we're going to blend the purple in. So give me a quick minute to do this. I'll see what's up in chat, and then we can blend some purple right in there. But yeah, a nice thick coat of white. Just really scoop it on that brush and just blob it around. There we go. Cool, 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 cool. You so zoomy, chat. What's going on? Canadians are taking over. I love it. I love it. We have many Canadian friends in here. Absolutely love it. Arrowhead, so many Canadians. Working on a tree today. Yeah, I saw from a few VODs he was working on that tree and the peacock, I guess, in that piece. It's beautiful. Thanks for answering, Brittany. I appreciate you. Yes, I see, oh no, everyone's checking out. They're like, whoa, beautiful, dang, yeah. You are on Reddit. I just got you with the cake day thing. I think I just reached 10 years on my account. I forget. I have to check. Thanks very much, Poppy, for answering. Oh, thanks, Sherry. I appreciate it. Yeah, following will help you know when I'm online. So if you click the little heart button, you'll get an email or notification whenever I pop on. And then that way, if you want to follow along for the next tutorial or just any of my Twitch streams, then you'll be notified. That's all you need to know. I have an 8th grade level of French. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not too much further with 9. And yes, it's, I feel like our French, yeah, education curriculum wasn't fantastic. I had some great teachers, but honestly, grades 4 through 6 were us watching Télé Français all day. The talking pineapple, just telling us about French and having 0 interest in it and not really understanding what was going on because it was a very creepy looking pineapple. A puppety guy. Je suis un l'ananas. Like, I can say that. I can say I'm a pineapple. I don't think that'll ever help me in life, though, unfortunately. I'll keep reading up in a second, but I want to get blending here. So we have our white down. Now what we want to do is blend in some purple. So I'm just going to use the same brush, and I'm not even going to wash it off. I'm just not going to spend time doing that. It's not necessary. And what I'm mixing together is a little bit of red and a little bit of blue. You can see it's in a kind of dark spot there, but it is turning purple. Red and blue. And you can get lots of different tones of purple by adding more blue or more red, so you should just kind of do whatever you like. I would say I added about even amounts of each, if you like my purple, but otherwise, yeah, play around a little bit. Sherry, thanks for following officially. Again, I hope you enjoy YouTube if that's what you choose, but otherwise, yeah, feel free to use the VOD right now. The video is still running. You can still go from the start and kind of catch up if you want. So when I've got the purple ready on my brush, I'm just going to start stroking it on, kind of on the top part of the hill. So see how it kind of goes on? It starts to blend in. That's because that white is still wet. So I'm just kind of wiping it on top. My cake day thanks to the follow as well. And I'm just kind of picking out what hills to go in front of each other. So in my original, I have the first hill in the background. So you can see I kind of went along the top and then stopped. I don't want to continue down. It's just kind of hiding. And then this one kind of goes along the top and then down and in because it's forward. It's in front of us. So we kind of see the rest of that kind of going across the snow there. And then maybe we just have another little layer, kind of a very soft hill kind of going like this. So I've applied my purple, and you can see it's a little bit harsher than my original, so to soften it up, I'm just going to wipe off my brush. You could wash it if you want, but I just gave it a quick little wipe. And you can just keep stroking over top. You can see by stroking, you're encouraging the purple to kind of mix with the white a little bit, and it just kind of softens it up a little bit more. You still have that nice dark purple on top, but then it softens as it goes. I know it's a little bit messy with these two hills together, so what I do is I just concentrate on the background first and work my way forward, so I'm just kind of getting messy to start with. Yeah, you're like, what's going on over here? What the heck? But then we're going to go forward and work on that one. You can see it all smooths it out. So I'm just wiping back and forth. This is using the paint on the canvas only. I didn't add anything else. See? And then it looks like it's in front. And then this one, I'm just wiping along the bottom here to help smooth it out a little bit, blend it in. Because I like it nice and soft looking. You could keep it a little harsher, but I just like the soft little strokes in the hill here. And again, you can keep adding paint if you want. I'd recommend trying the paint just on the canvas to start, but I'm going to keep adding white, for example. That'll keep softening it up a little bit. Keep blending it in here and there. There we go. You can do that as much or as little as you want. I'm good with that. I'm going to add maybe a little more white over here. Just kind of keep that a little lighter at the bottom. Barely changed anything, but that's okay. Cool. All right. I'm happy with that. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to kind of work on that. You might have a little bit of, need a little bit of extra time to kind of add, yeah, all those different hills kind of one at a time. So just keep taking your time. I'll keep chatting with chat here. It looks like there's still lots going on. Yeah, Booby's new to the channel. I love the name too. Failed miserably. Yeah, grade 9 was the only requirement for us, so once that was done, I was like, I'm out. Nice to meet you, Erin. Have a nice stream. Oh, see you, lady. Thank you very much for popping in with the raid. Appreciate you. Yeah, Odo. Yeah, I do it pretty much every Friday. I try and keep it consistent on Fridays as long as I don't have any other plans, because I sometimes do private tutorials as well, and I think I actually have one coming up on a Friday night soon. But otherwise, I keep it pretty consistent. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's what I do. I just want to encourage as many people to do art right now as possible, because a lot of people are finding some benefits in it. They're finding it very relaxing and just like they can learn something new at home, right? So if I can help with that, that's what I'm trying to do. Don't mind us, we can talk amongst each other. Exactly. Yeah, I love catching up with the chat. Sometimes it goes a little quick on these nights, but that's okay. I stream during the week too when I'm not doing tutorials, and I'm a lot more chatty. I'm able to like put down my brush and kind of have, you know, 20-minute to 30-minute chats if I want. So this is kind of the one time where I stay on track. Deneg, see you. Have a good evening. You guys are partying on your Friday. I'm still drinking. I'm out of drinks. Sad day, sad day. Drunk cake night. Sad and sober. Oh no. See you, Brittany. Of course. I'm new to Twitch. Oh, you are? Oh my gosh. I didn't even really look at your numbers, Odo, but I'm just surprised based on, yeah, your beautiful stream layout here. Like, you seem very, very in the know. 400. It's a great size. How new are you, Odo? Like, how many months in here? Wow, you've been working on this piece a long time. Beautiful, though. I see a VOD from 25 days ago, but I think they delete before then or after then. Curious. Yeah, you look like you have a great setup here. Quality stuff. Oh, Heather, you like the sloth? Yeah, the sloth is really cute. I did him kind of like in the end of the summer last year. Very cute. Luke says, you had a pineapple teach you French? Correct. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah, look up Télé Français. If you're curious, I would, if this were a regular stream, not a tutorial, I would show you guys. I would just pop it up on my screen, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I wrote it in chat for you, Luke. All 8th grade school killed French. Oh, that's interesting, Arrow. Are you from Canada or the States? Je suis un la nana. You got it. Mrs. Krabs knows. It's beautiful work. Oh, Mr. Krabs, or Mrs. Krabs rather. I'm gonna call you Mr. Krabs by accident because SpongeBob, but yeah, it's okay. Not everyone's following along, so you're in good company. It's okay, but if you want to, there's probably, there's another one coming up next week. Exactly, Poppy said it right there. It's so important to do something every day that'll make you happy. Thank you, Bob. Oh, Booby, what was happening with your purple? Oh, thanks, Cake Day. It's kind of my goal. Again, I want to encourage people that, like, it's not that hard. It's, I think a lot of people are intimidated with painting, and they just need a little instruction. They just need to, like, understand how to break down paintings, what to do next, how to mix colors. So thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah. Do you use reference photos for your paintings? If so, any sources you recommend? I recently learned about Pexels. That's a fantastic one. I just typed it in the chat for you. But honestly, what I do, Yami, is I try my best to keep them as original as possible. So what I do is I go straight to Google Images and I'll take like 3 or 4 photos at a time. I'll use one for like color inspo, one for layout, one for, you know, if I need to find an animal, I'll use one for the animal. But I do my best to create, honestly, very original stuff. So I end up using just really any photos and try to mash them together to create something new. But again, Pexels is a great one. P-E-X-E-L-S. I wrote it in chat for you if you're curious. Those are all copyright-free photos if you want to confidently kind of use one photo and follow along with it. Okay, so again, I'll catch up still. But right now we're going to go into the sunshine here. We're going to do the sun first, and then we'll do the little trees in front. And then we're going to do the shine on the sun. The shine is my favorite part. I love that part. So let's do the sun first. And we want to go, of course, down to the ice here to fix that up in a second as well. But sunshine first, kind of right behind the elk antlers here. So I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to do my favorite brush, the medium round brush. And I'm going to mix together white and yellow. I'm going to create a nice, very, very light yellow. Probably even lighter than this one. So if you want to use that as a base and then make sure it's lighter than that, that would be good. So I'm using lots of white, little bit of yellow with my medium round brush. I want it like a super buttery yellow. Despite my hatred for butter, I don't mind using it as a color. There we go. In terms of placement, if you like the design that I have, I try and place it kind of right where the elk antlers are, right here, kind of in the middle. So I would say it's like an inch or two over from the left. It's kind of sitting around where the yellow and orange meet, I would say. But yeah, anywhere in that area would be good if you like the exact layout and design I have. So I'm going to use my medium round brush and I'm just going to plop on a little circle. We watched a Bob Ross tutorial recently and he actually used his finger. So if you want to get messy and want to try it, just use your finger. Such an easy way to create a nice round circle. Look at that. It's honestly the best. I don't even know why I used my medium round because this is just the better method at this point. Bob Ross told me to do it and I'm going to listen to that man. And he's right. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Perfect. Pop on a little more paint if it's a little bit transparent. But yeah, my gosh, your finger's the perfect tool for that. There you go, easy peasy. Less than 3 months. Oh yeah, you're pretty new, Odo, I gotcha. Well, I'm glad everyone's checking you out. You really deserve it. Based on what I saw with your design, they're absolutely beautiful. No worries, Magic, have a good sleep. Oh, you've streamed on Reddit. Oh! Yo, can you tell me more about that, Odo? Because I do peruse Reddit, obviously. I saw the Cake Day connection there. And I see that happening. How does that work? Because from what I see on my front page, I just get recommended a stream, and I think it's the top viewed stream on Reddit at the moment, and then it kind of switches out. Is that right? That's so interesting to me. If you don't mind, if you want to tell me your experience of it, I'm super interested. Bonjour, allo, salut, do. Mindy knows tele français. Yeah, tele français. Avec nous. See, I don't know all of it. Avec nous. Oh, Arrow's from Boston. Okay, I gotcha. What do you mean, Sybil? Oh, man. Master grade 12, 2 years, you cannot talk anyone to Quebec. Oh, no, Marion. You guys sound like a fun bunch. I like your little convo going here. We as well have people getting married in our chat as well. I can see trophy wife being thrown around. We as well have that in our chat, so this is perfect. Maybe we can have some crossover marriages. Oh no, Crabs, you're fine. Again, I'm used to this kind of stuff. Oh man. I had to use my finger on my paint today. Yeah, you know, Vonda, it works well. All right, we've got the sun on. I'm going to move right along to the trees here just to keep us rolling. So for trees, you can use really whatever brush you like, but I'm going to use my large flat brush. Despite it being the biggest brush, I always say it, the bristles are nice and long and therefore they line up very nicely. So that's why I like using this for the trees. If you like something else, please go ahead and use something else, whatever you think for your thin, kind of long and tall trees. In terms of the color, I use somewhat of a bluish purple for this one, so I'm going to mix a couple colors together on my plate. I'm going to mix blue. I'm going to mix a tiny bit of red in there because I want it more on the blue side of the purple rather than more on the red side of purple. So lots of blue, little red, and then white in there. I like to lighten it up with a little bit of white. I accidentally added yellow. And I don't want to do that, so I'm going to start again. My volcano plate is getting a little bit messy. Let's just go over here. I'll add a little red over here. Add some white. That's a little better. That's more what I'm looking for. That just got a little messy. Bluish purple. Like a nice soft bluish purple, right? That's why I'm adding a little bit of white to it. All right, and these trees I feel like I've done before in some other tutorial designs. So some of you might be familiar if you follow along with me consistently. But yeah, of course I'll reteach it. So first of all, what I'm doing is I'm wiping the brush on the side of my plate. That way all the bristles get nice and lined up. It's very important to kind of prep that way. If you just kind of blob the paint on and expect it to be a nice thin line, it probably won't work. So just make sure you're wiping on the edge. And then what I do is I keep the bristles vertical so they're going up and down. And I'm just going to start from the bottom and pull upwards. I prefer going from bottom to top personally. And what I'm doing with the pressure is I'm starting off with lots of pressure so I get a thicker line. And as I move up, I'm removing pressure by kind of moving the brush away from the canvas, away from it. And that way less of the bristles are touching and you get a thinner and thinner line until it just kind of pops off. You can either just kind of take it off or you can kind of flick the bristles. I kind of move the handle down like that. And then that way you get a nice thin tip. Cateroo like periwinkle. Yes, exactly. Exactly like periwinkle, I would say. Oh, and my battery's exhausted. Give me a quick second here. I'm exhausted. It's hard to say it with a brush on, though. Fastest battery change in the West. Julia, should I make a light gray? Can I use black for the trees? Ooh, I would probably use a light gray over black. Yes. Just because we'll have the very dark elk in the foreground, and I would think you would want maybe a lighter tree in the background. Absolutely, yeah. So you start with that. That's kind of a nice trunk, and then all you need to do is add a couple branches to it. You can see my trees are quite sparse. I don't do a lot to them. See them there? So what I do for branches, I just kind of use the thin edge of the brush here. I come up the trunk and I start to kind of move right or left whenever I want and just create a little branch. So again, I moved up the trunk, kind of tilted a little right, and then start traveling further up, right? I'm not really going straight left, straight right. I'm kind of traveling up with the other branches or the other trunk there. I'm gonna do that a couple more times, just kind of flowing off like that. Maybe one more down here. You can add a couple little twigs to those branches if you want to split them up even more. It just depends how detailed you want it, but that's really all I do. I just add a couple branches, maybe a couple twigs. I really like splitting them into V shapes. I know I've said that one before. It's a common thing I do with my trees, the V shapes, kind of keeping them all very tight and then slowly splitting away. But that's one tree of many. So I just kind of add a bunch of trees all over the place. I'll zoom out so you can see the full painting again. But yeah, there's no real rhyme or reason here. I do some tall trees, I do some short trees. I even do some trees kind of in between the bigger trees just to fill up space. I'll show you that in a second, but I pretty much just do straight lines for that. Oops. So if I have a little bit of space, you can just do some very quick straight lines. Makes it look a little more filled up without doing all of the work, right? So yeah, I'll just kind of keep going. And I do overlap the sun a tiny bit. I try and keep the middle open. So if you have a branch or two kind of intersecting the sides, that's fine. But I do try and avoid completely covering it up, right? Because we want the nice beam of light shining through. So I'm going to keep working on these as I chat a little bit. You guys can take your time with your trees. I know sometimes they take a little longer because they are a lot of like straight thin lines. So just really take your time. Don't stress about rushing these. Just throw them on one at a time and you'll get all the way across eventually. Or again, if you don't want to go all the way across, you can do something else, remove some trees. Does not matter. It's your painting and your world. Oh, you found one Reddit. Oh, Heather reads Reddit. I didn't even see your whole name there. That makes way more sense. Oh, man. No, really? Sounds good, Odo. Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Sorry if I missed you there. I can chat in IG. Yep, got a lot going on. Of course, of course. Yeah, I'm a bit more curious than anything. I don't think I'm seriously thinking about doing it, but just from a curiosity standpoint, I'm always like, how does that work? But thank you again, in case I didn't miss you. If you're still listening in, thank you again for the raid. You're gonna go far. I see your beautiful work there. Again, I'll check you out another time when you're streaming. Crossover marriages. Right, yes, exactly. French in France versus Quebec is quite different. Thanks, Heather. I appreciate you saying you love the colors. And yeah, Julia, I think I said already. Sorry if I'm repeating myself here. The light gray. That's my fault. I'm going up and down in chat. Exactly, yeah, Cake Day, exactly. It's kind of like determining where the elk or the deer will go. Is Streamlabs a real person? No, it's a bot. No. He's just yelling, I'm exhausted. It's a bot. It's a robot. But it's the exhausted comment. Oh, so it's a command. Do you guys know commands in chat? Where you type in something and the bot spits out something in response. So if you type in my chat battery, it'll say I'm exhausted. Because it's a meme here that my camera yells I'm exhausted whenever the battery goes off. Yeah, there you go. See? I'm exhausted. And then I just repeat it in my little voice, you know? Yep. Yeah, you guys don't know? Oh, you guys should teach Odo about this. You should get some commands in chat. It makes it a lot more fun. Not to say his stream isn't fun already, but it really adds a little bit of spice. Did you see the Bob quote for it? Yeah, there's a supplies command, so it spits out all the supplies for the tutorial. Type in Bob quote, exclamation Bob quote. See what happens then. It's a lot of fun. Streamlabs, are you single? Don't hit on Streamlabs. No hitting on people here. Even bots. That's funny. Thanks, James. Arrowhead, nice to chat with you. All good. Sounds good. Have a great evening. It is a bot. You guys are funny. Yeah, you guys need to learn about bots. Discord's a good one. Yep. There's Bob quote, says Krithy. We tell people sometimes, we're like drug dealers. Come into town and get everybody absolutely addicted to painting. It doesn't take much to get you addicted. A real Bob Ross quote. Yeah, Odo, if you have questions about what you see, like the commands and stuff, I'm so down to teach you about it. Nice little easy thing you can add to make it a little more fun and spicy in your chat. A lot of people get very creative with commands. I don't know if I would say I do. I think mine are more for information. Like there's a command for Discord, as someone just did there, and like all my social medias. It's a very quick and easy way to yeah, kind of type out things that are often needed to be repeated, I guess. That's a good way to think of it. And it can just be used for fun memes, fun jokes within the channel, right? If you say something funny all the time, like that could be a command or like a question response type thing. Yeah, lots of ideas. Oh, sorry, the auto mod hit you there, Odo. You're good. Love it, I'm a real dummy so the robots can help. I'll take it. Oh yeah, use those robots as much as you can. Yeah, I use Streamlabs as my streaming software, so that's why you see Streamlabs as the little robot, but there's lots of different kinds, and I'm honestly not super well rehearsed in all of them, but they all do different things from what I know. They might be similar, but I think each of them have some pluses and minuses. But yeah, those are all my commands. Thank you, Gray. If anyone wants to read through those and experiment, you can. I'm trying to catch up as I keep painting here. Oh, there's no tours command. Come on. To tours we should, though. That would be an easy one. Exclamation tours spits out the to tours emote. That would be kind of funny. So yeah, they're all like little jokes within the channel. Most of them are anyway. Love me. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Mrs. Krabs knows. Yeah, other channels have different commands. Exactly. So that one might be in a different chat. See it all just filling up, especially with those in-between trees, you know? It really, really helps fill it up. I think I'm filling this up more than my original, just so everybody knows. I think I kept my original a little more sparse. Dough! Dough! Wow, 9 months in the oven. The perfect crust. Proud of you. Thanks, Dough! Welcome in! The perfect crust. The baby bun. It is now done. The bun is out of the oven. This is my second Twitch baby today, Dough. My parents and I had one. Isn't that weird? Welcome in. I'm really happy to see you. Just getting my trees done and then I'll keep chatting here. The perfect crust. Do. That's nuts. The good kind. There you go. Some bots are programmable. Streamlabs super easy. Yes, they have lots of different bots, exactly. Or it says rummed on the best? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Chicken noodle's a good one. Do you guys have BTTV emotes? One from Odo's stream? Like, that makes it more fun too in the chat. You guys should check out BTTV if you don't know. This is tears, says Julie. What does that mean? You need some help? Third one in 9 months. Hello. Party, party. Go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is. Perfect, because we're creating limbs on trees. Excellent. Odo gives individual attention. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see all the little dancing emotes right now, but those are all BTTV stuff. Oh, gotcha. Okay, thanks, Mrs. Krabs. Popcat, yep. Oh, I always thought the cat was all capitalized too, honestly. When I write that outside of Twitch, I do all caps cat. All good. I forget all the time. Okay, so once we're done the trees, I'll still give you a little bit of time for the trees, but I guess just as a heads up, if you want to now add the white on the ice, this would be a good time to do it. So if you're like me and you had that blending happening that you didn't want to have, now would be a good time to add your white, just to add more of a like snowy outline from the ice. And again, it can be soft or it can be very bright, it doesn't matter. You can use either a little bit of paint or lots. But now you can confidently put it on there without any paint mixing, without any of the orange mixing. The periwinkle might be a tiny bit wet just at the very bottoms of the trees, but at this point I think it's pretty easy to avoid. You can just kind of brush it on right below. So that's kind of optional, I guess. If it worked out the first time, you don't need to do this, but for me, I need to do this again. So taking a quick moment to do that. And again, if you want to stroke on even more white, the blue will be dry now, so you'll get a little bit more of a bright white kind of popping on there because it's not mixing with the blue. So you can just softly stroke across, and that'll give you a little more of a, yeah, ice texture, right? It'll look a little more frosty. It's just small amounts of white paint, very lightly, like the tip of an angel's wing, as Bob says. Yeah, stroking across, and then that way you get some nice faded streaks of white. That's dry brushing versus like wet on wet blending. You can see it shows up a little brighter, but you still have that nice icy blue showing through. Oh, the noodle thing? It's tears? Oh, you love noodle dance is what you said, okay. This is tears, hopefully happy tears, I gotcha. Are there elk where you live? Kind of, yeah. I can't say they're like in my backyard or anything, Mrs. Krabs, but yeah, they peruse Canada. I'm in southern Ontario. So if you go a little bit north, kind of like cottage country area, a few hours where I'm from, you can definitely see them. I've seen moose on the road. Moose are similar to elk, and I've seen them. Maybe not elk. I'm gonna think about that. Because I've seen elk out west. I actually don't know if I've seen elk in Ontario. Google, elk, where do they live? Some eastern US states have reintroduced small elk herds into heavily wooded wilderness areas. I can't confidently say I've seen an elk in Ontario outside of a zoo, but I've definitely seen them roaming around out west when I was visiting out west. Moose, though. Moose are, yeah, plentiful here, especially when you go north. He's trying to use the Popcat. Do you know what BTTV is, Cake Day? Here, there's a little, it's a command, look at that. So if you can't see those little moving guys within that command, and instead you see text, you can download BTTV to see what those are. I saw an elk once near the Grand Canyon and I was like, oh my gosh, they are gigantic, yes. Like the Bob Ross reference? Yeah. We love Bob Ross here, Cake Day. He's actually on my canvas here. He's hiding down here. He's always with me. I love him so much. He taught me a lot. He's like my first exposure to painting and art, honestly. Yes, I know for Krithy. Yeah, you're welcome, Cake Day. No worries. Oh, Skull Queen, how can I help him? Is he able to let me know what's up and maybe I can give him some advice? I did try that, Mrs. Krabs. We did that a week or two ago when I followed along with a Bob Ross step-by-step tutorial with acrylics. And I beat the devil out of it, and it was such a mistake. It kind of sprayed my computer tower. It's fine, but yeah, it was drippy for a second. I didn't like it. Oh man. There, Lex has him, see? People clap. It is, yep. Oh, very cool, Heather. Yeah, I'm close-ish to London and Toronto. I'm kind of like in between. Very cool. Yeah, I love Canada in general. Ontario is pretty, but honestly, I think out west is prettier. It's so pretty out west. I want to go there. You're fine, Mrs. Krabs. All good. I understood what you meant. I understood. Okay. So just kind of looking at what's next here, we have the beams of light coming out of the sunshine. I'll give an extra minute just because we really want all of this to be nice and dry for the beams of light. So if you have any wetness in the trees or even in that white you just added, give it another minute or two before we do it. The white won't be as much of an issue. It's more so if we have darker colors that are wet. So I'm going to give an extra minute or two just to be safe. And then we're going to add the beams of light, which kind of come out, you can see from behind the elk, okay? So that'll come up very soon. BC is the best. Mrs. Krabs, you and I agree on that. I would love to live in Vancouver. I did for a quick moment in my life. It's very expensive there, though. I moved right after post-secondary school, and I was broke. Yeah, I worked 3 jobs for about a year. Lex, thank you for the official follow. Welcome in. Again, the people collapse got me there. But yeah, I would love to move back to Vancouver eventually in my life. It's amazing there. And just all surrounding areas too. You said Vancouver Island, amazing as well. Mrs. Krabs, thanks for the official follow too. Yeah, but honestly, yeah, my mom is on Vancouver Island. Lucky her. Oh my gosh. I gotta go, but so nice to... Yeah, of course, Odo. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you more. Have a great night. You too. Yeah, I'm sure you'll see me in your chat eventually. I usually lurk, honestly, when I look at other art streams, but I'll do my best to at least say hi to you if I'm in there. And I'll let you know if I'm busy or not, but at least I'll be like, hi, I'm here. And we can chat in other ways too. Thanks again, Odo, for popping in. Yeah, really nice chatting. Peepo poo poo, Lex. He's there for a reason. People like using him. Mm-hmm. Oh, everyone's saying goodnight. You're all so sweet. Enjoying pineapples on our pizza. Phoenix, you're trying to start a riot in chat, aren't you? I mean, I support the pineapples on pizza, but I don't know how everyone else feels. Well, I do know how everyone else feels. They think it's all controversial. But I like you supporting the pineapple gang. Okay, everyone, I'm going to do some of the beams of light. So this as well will take a tiny bit of time here because we want to just go nice and slow with it, nice and soft. But I'm going to be using my medium round brush, my favorite brush again. Woo. And we're just going to be using it with small amounts of paint. And we're going to be using the dry brushing method. So that's going to be using small amounts of paint and kind of scraping it off. We're just going to kind of rub or scrape it like this. It's going to create these nice soft lines. I'm going to zoom in just so you can really see them as well. See how they're all just transparent? They're there, but you can see right through them, and that's the goal. We want to kind of see the trees through and the ice through, so it looks like just very, yeah, very light beams of light. Light beams of light? I don't know. Soft beams of light? That's probably better. But yeah, again, the whole point is you can kind of see through them while still knowing they're there. And then the elk will cover them up a little bit. Alright, so what I'm going to do first, I do like a couple layers of color. I like to do white first just to keep it nice and bright. And then what I do is I layer on kind of a yellow or maybe even an orange in the middle. And then that way it looks a little warmer. The reason we do white first is because if we were to do just plain yellow first, it would probably be almost too transparent. When I use my yellow paint, I find it's just transparent in general, unless I mix it with white or unless I put it on top of a white base. That's why it's so bright up here, because it was on a white base. If I were to put it on any of this color, it would just become transparent and muddy. So we're going to use white first and then put the yellow and orange on top. So with my brush, I'm just going to dip into a little bit of white, just kind of putting it on the tip of the brush. And even with it on the tip, I'm going to actually wipe it off a little bit or tap it off. I just have my towel here. I'm tapping it off. So there's barely any left on there. You can see there's no big blobs, just a tiny bit. And then you can start wherever you want. I'm going to start maybe to the left here. I'm just going to go from the middle of the sun outwards very, very lightly. So I'm just letting the bristles kind of scrape against the canvas very, very lightly. You can see how a little bit is coming off. So it's good to be a little bit, use a little less pressure than you need to start. You can kind of get used to how much paint is coming off, how it's working, and then you can kind of increase pressure or increase paint to get it a little bit brighter. Because I think I want it a little brighter than that. That's a little soft for me. So yeah, I would say better safe than sorry, just in terms of, yeah, taking your time, do little bits at a time, keep stacking on the color. You can see the more you go in with more color, the more it'll brighten up. And you're creating kind of a V shape if I didn't make that clear. So I'm going from the middle of the sun and I'm coming out. So I'm kind of doing a V shape for each beam. It comes from the middle outwards kind of down and then outwards kind of up. So it looks like it's starting very contained and then sprawling after that. Just grabbing a little more, dabbing off a little more. I especially like hitting the edges. I especially like kind of brightening the edges as if the beam has two brighter edges. You can see, and then the middle is a little softer. I don't know if that's like how it is in real life. I don't think it is. I think light is pretty consistent, but I like the look, so I'm going to do it that way. Again, my painting. I can do what I want. So I'm just going to do that a few more times with a few more beams. You can see I don't do any beams going up. I guess that's the one thing. I kind of do them to the side or down. If you go straight down, just know that it will be covered up by the elk, so I wouldn't spend too much time doing that unless it's for practice. That might be a good practice round up and down, but the elk will be right here otherwise, so I will not be spending time on doing a beam right there. I'm going to go over to the left instead. And again, I'm using plain white for now. I will add yellow later. I'm not prejudiced against pizza toppings. I'm really happy about that, Mrs. Krabs. Some people are. Some people are very vocal about what they think should and shouldn't go on pizza. It's been a constant hot debate in here, so I'm glad you're accepting of all pizza toppings. Oh, you're doing some skulls? Yeah, they are hard, Todd. I really haven't tried super hard at it because they're very intimidating. I know I've been requested to do some skull tutorials, and I would like to, but man, that seems tough. I would like to try it eventually, maybe for Halloween this year or something. That's so far away, but maybe it can happen, you know? We'll see, we'll see. That would be really cool. I love watching other artists do skulls because it's such a long process, but it really, really comes together very cool at the end. It's so worth the wait. So worth all the patience. There's another beam, and yeah, you might get some beams that are a little bit brighter than others. I think that's cool, so I wouldn't worry about keeping it consistent. Tuna on pizza, not judging, says Cake Day. Yep, we've had a few people say that too. I've never tried it. Doesn't really interest me, but you know, try everything once. Have you guys heard of pickles on pizza? That's a thing people keep bringing up and they say it's delicious, and I've never tried it. Pickle pizza. Can you, they want on pizza as long as they don't try and make me eat anchovies. As long as. I gotcha. Mmm. Mm-hmm. An Italian eye. Listen. Yeah, thanks, Heather. Yeah, I try my best to explain. I try my best with each tutorial to have like a few different cool techniques in there. Some of them obviously are repeated tutorial to tutorial, but as long as people are learning and practicing and getting more confident, that's what I hope, you know? So it's kind of good sometimes to repeat some techniques so people have a chance to improve on them and try again and yeah, see how they're just constantly getting better. Because that's what painting is, and doing art, I think, is just a lot of practice. You know, I think a little bit of teaching and learning, I guess, in there is good. A little bit of knowledge. But yeah, otherwise it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of figuring things out for yourself in terms of what works for you, right? Because everyone paints a little bit differently. So my technique might not work for you, but something else might. It might kind of spur a different idea. So all of it works. Bob has a good quote about it, about just doing what you need to do. There's no rules or something. Break the rules. So I'm still just using white, everybody, just kind of brightening up a little bit. I think that's pretty good for me. I'll give everyone a minute and then I'll put some yellow on there. First is white, then yellow. Correct, Cake Day. Beams are heavenly. Thank you, Mrs. Krabs. It's so sweet. Halloween's never close enough. We have quite a few in chat, Mrs. Krabs, who believe the same. Halloween should be a year-long activity. I just prefer things. I gotcha. Whoa, Todd. Holy moly. 12 for this piece. What is it? Pickles are gross. Yes, pickles on barbecue pizza? That's interesting. Someone in our Discord just simply posted like a cheese pizza with a whack of pickles on it, and they said it was delicious, but barbecue pizza is interesting. Yeah. Hamburger pizza with pickles. Okay. But yeah, that's like pickles with other things. I could see that, but some people just have straight pickles and cheese. Dinosaur, hi, welcome in. How's it going? Oh, Booby, what's up? Are they a little thick? What happened there? Oh, see you, Cake Day. Thanks so much for chatting. It was really nice chatting with you. Maybe I'll see you again in Odo's chat. Thanks everybody for contributing to the challenge. Cindy, Doe, Star Princess, nice to see you. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. Painting with bathroom supplies. That's our next community goal to meet. And I'm sure we will meet it because we're already at 25%. So once I have the white beams, everybody, I'm just gonna go on top with some yellow. So same idea. I don't want to cake the yellow on my brush. I just want to grab a little bit, kind of wipe it off on my towel. And now that we have the white base, the yellow will show up just a lot brighter than before. So I'm going to lightly brush it on. Same thing, very, very lightly, just kind of scraping it. And you can see how the beam turns a nice bright yellow now. And again, it's up to you how much or how little you want to add. Maybe you like the white and you don't want to do too much yellow. You can, of course, just wipe on a little or none at all. And you can, if I didn't specify too, you can bring it down nice and far too. If you want to like bring it on top of the ice, you can. It doesn't need to stop at the horizon line. I like the idea of it maybe stopping behind the hills. So it kind of reaches across the ice and then stops before the foreground hills. Oops. I just kind of went into my sunshine by accident with the yellow, so I just wiped it away. Oh, that's a fair amount of yellow. So you can see if you add more yellow, it becomes a little brighter. Up to you if you want to do that. Very softly. And that's kind of the benefit of the yellow being transparent. You can be a little messier with this step, and if you kind of go in here, you don't really see it because the yellow is so dang transparent. You really only see it on top of the white. So that's why the white base helps as well. Maybe they aren't as heavy as yours, I can't tell. Yeah, maybe that's it. I mean, if you think automatically it's not heavy, yeah, if you think that the problem isn't that they're too heavy, I would maybe just add a little bit more. Maybe he's going super, super light, which is a good idea, Booby Trap, especially when you're first doing this technique. Because I find the tendency is that people use a little too much paint and then don't wipe it off enough, and then it comes off like a streak, right? It comes off like one of these trees, very bold. And you want it a little softer. So yeah, maybe just tell him to keep doing the same technique on top again and see if it gets a little bit more like he's hoping for. Julia, thanks for contributing too. And then I guess optional, you could add a little orange in the middle. I did do that to some of my beams, again, because I like the look. I'm going to show you close up of like a little highlight on the outsides. Again, I don't think that's really reminiscent of real life, but I like kind of an outline in my beams. I think it makes it look cool that it's a little more light on the insides and bright on the outsides, like an outline almost, like a soft outline. So if you like that, all you need to do is grab a little tiny bit of orange on your brush. So orange is made by mixing yellow and red. We learned that with the background. And you would do the same thing, kind of wiping it off. And then I just kind of pop that in the middle. I just need to grab a little more. Oops, that's muddy. If you pop it in the middle, again, it kind of leaves the yellow and white to the outside, and then that way it looks like it's kind of a nice highlight on the outside, a nice outline, nice border. So many words for it. But I'll just show you with one or two here. Just a little bit of orange. That's still a little too light. I'm gonna grab a little more red. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get the right shade. Yeah, and then it darkens up the middle. You can see it's darkened up the middle a little bit. It's left the yellow on the outside. It just gives you a different beam look. Try it up here just to show you. It's almost like you're erasing some of the beam, right? Because you're almost bringing the orange from the background forward again, but you're also covering a little bit of the tree, so it looks still faded. But yeah, those are kind of the two types. So you have these ones, you have these ones. These ones don't have middles, these ones do, so you can kind of choose which one you like. Alright, so for the elk, for anybody following along here, we have 3 different colors for the elk. Let's kind of zoom you in. Or 4 rather. 3 main ones, and then just the black is the last color I'm doing. Who's Bob Ross? You should Google Bob Ross and find out. He teaches acrylic, oil tutorials on TV. Anyway, yeah, we have 3 shades of purple. So we have like our super, super dark purple. We kind of have a medium purple in there, and then a very light purple for the highlight. These are all kind of like bluish purples here rather than reddish purples, so they're a little darker. And then we have a tiny bit of black just to add the little eyes and the nostrils. And then that's going to be our elk. So what we do first is we're going to use the darkest color to kind of outline, not outline the whole thing, just kind of, yeah, create a base for the whole elk. So I'll teach you, I guess, the outline here, and then we'll fill it all in. And then we're just going to use the other colors right on top to give all the nice shading and texture to the elk. So you can use, I would recommend using a medium round brush, maybe using this and a tiny brush, a very small round brush, kind of switching between the two. Whatever you're more comfortable with. And we're going to mix together red and blue on my plate. Red and blue. No white, we just want red and blue so it stays nice and dark. Elvin, I mean, I think it would be safe to maybe get a little test, you know? If you think that's maybe what it is. But I wouldn't be too worried. I've had instances, I had one instance last summer where I had the exact same thing. I had kind of a really irritated throat. And I think it ended up being just that I was streaming so much, honestly, and talking so much that my throat was hurting. Because I did get a test and it was negative. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much. I think that's probably just a common thing. But yeah, doesn't hurt to get tested too. Happy pizza too. Yes, they have it every weekend. Gotta give him a friend. Like I always say, everyone needs a friend. Purple, purple, yup. Really, Alvin? That's surprising. I'm using the medium round pizza. I kind of switched between this one and the small round, so a nice teeny tiny brush. It'll be kind of whatever you feel as we get to like the more detailed parts. If you want to use a tiny brush for the antlers and stuff like that, that's fine. But I'll be using this one because it's mostly kind of thick areas that we're doing right now. No hydrate command, that's fine. Sometimes the throat just feels a little throat, yeah. Just be doing throat things. Yes, yes. Sometimes my tongue feels like it's too big because I remember it's in my mouth and then it's like, oh, is it swelling? What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Can I breathe okay? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yes. Throat be the same though. Okay, let's do our elk, everybody. So we're going to start at our sun because that was a good little reference point, right? We want the sun to be peaking just above the head of the elk. So I'm going to start right just like overlapping the sun a little bit on the bottom. I just put a little tick mark to begin with, just kind of rubbing my brush left and right a little bit. It's kind of the very top of the head. I can zoom in too. We can bring you around the elk actually so you can see nice details here. So kind of the flat part of the head is what we're doing first. Too relatable. Everyone relates. How do I breathe? Why am I breathing? Oh my god, I forget. After that little line, it's just a little horizontal line kind of going on top of the bottom of the sun. I'm just going to bring down 2 angled lines. I'm going down to the left, down to the right. So I'm creating this line here and that line here. Kind of like a very square head in a way. You're kind of creating a rounded dome, but quite edgy. We will ignore the ears for now. We're going to continue that angled line coming kind of down and in. down and in. So we're kind of creating right around here at this point. We're kind of coming down and around, down and around. So we're ignoring the ears. We'll add those later. But we want a nice kind of wide middle in the head where the eyes are going to go. Down and in. Curves in. Alright, from here, I'm only going to focus on the left-hand side for now. I'm just going to bring just a line coming down slightly to the left. It's almost going straight down, but it curves a little. Not curves, it kind of angles a little to the left. This is going to be kind of part of the neck of the elk here. I'm going to bring it down a bit. In terms of reference right now, we're just about kind of on top of the ice. See how it goes a little bit on top of the ice? If your sunshine is very close to where mine is, you can now be kind of overlapping the ice at this point with the neck. Thanks, Julia, for contributing. Big sacrifice. Oh my goodness. The bathroom supplies, thank you. It's true. They bless you with that contribution. So what's going to happen eventually is this neck is going to come down even further. See how it kind of overlaps? But we're going to do that with highlights. So we don't need to do that right now. Instead, we're just going to start to curve around for kind of the back end of the elk. Because again, he's kind of facing towards us, but we still see that little booty poking out from the side. So right around where, again, we just overlap the ice a little bit, we're going to curve a little to the left. And then come down and back in. Little left, coming down and back in. So we're creating this whole like thigh area, booty slash thigh. We still haven't come all the way down yet. We're just kind of around this area here. In fact, I'm going to make it even bigger. I want it actually more of an angle down first, and then it's going to come in. I remember when I first made the elk live on stream, I was constantly lengthening everything. I felt like I was keeping everything too short. So I don't know if anyone else is doing that, but that's why I kind of adjusted there and brought it down a little further. I wanted it nice and big. And down, yeah. Yeah, that bathroom paint is going to be so fun. It's going to be interesting. So once we've done that little curve, again, I'll follow with my mouse here. We've kind of done about here. We're going to keep coming in, so like down to the right. So coming into the elk, down to the right. So we're kind of doing the nice upper thigh area here. Coming down into the little bump of snow. Like that. And eventually we're going to curve it kind of to straight down, and we're just going to add the legs. So the legs, you can see the legs are very, very thin. Not very thin, but thinner than everything else we've been doing. And they just kind of hide in the snow. So you're just going to end them off really wherever you want. They just kind of hide in the snow. Little hooves are just buried in that snow patch. But yeah, you can see we're trying to keep it thinner compared to the thigh, compared to the butt and all the rest of the elk. So that's kind of the, yeah, back end thigh, back leg there. If you're nervous about how proportioned things are right now, I would just kind of continue. I know I'm adjusting a little bit just by looking at the reference, kind of looking at where things are landing in the snow and everything. But I always encourage people to just kind of finish the whole thing, and then it gives you a much better look at proportion, right? It's very hard to tell if things are too big or too small before everything's done. So try your best to kind of trust yourself throughout the whole process. You can always lengthen things, make things bigger if you need to. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I kind of go back and I fix, but at the same time I need to keep going here, yeah. So now I'm going to do the front leg. We only have 3 legs, by the way. I assume the back leg in the reference I was looking at is kind of hidden behind this leg, but this is the front right leg. So what I'm doing here is after I bring that back leg up, I'm now going to come back down, kind of angling a little to the right so that I have a separate leg coming down. Same thing, I keep it relatively thin. It gets a little thicker at the top just like this one did, but otherwise it's pretty straight on, straight down and coming right down into the snow. Thin compared to everything else in the elk. It's still not a thin stroke compared to the trees, but just compared to everything else in the elk, it's quite thin. Same energy, similar energy. Oh, Julia, what's up with it? Are you done the whole thing yet, or just kind of like where I'm at? Because I would wait. I would wait till you have the whole thing done. I reckon. Seals are too good. Spin, spin, look, look. Okay, so that is leg number 2. And again, they're kind of separated. They have a little V shape in between. If it helps you to see the negative space, kind of look at the negative space there. All right, so before doing the third leg, we want to give a little bit of a curve up. This is kind of like the underbelly, I would assume, of the elk. So I'm starting a little bit kind of below the very top of the leg, and I'm just curving up like this. So doing a quick little curve, you can just make it as long as you want because it's going to land within the body here. See, that's way too long. I'm not going to start it there, but I'm going to bring it more here. For reference, you can see we're going to do this curve and then the leg here. You can see it's kind of right in the middle of the elk, right? So if you want to use that as reference, kind of looking at the middle of the head and saying, okay, my V shape will start around here, right? Because that's the middle. That might help you. Again, you can do whatever you want in here because this is all going to be covered up later, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing there. It's all good. So I'm going to do the front left leg now. So this one kind of comes again down, angled a little to the right, and then it starts to straighten out as it comes further down the snow, just like the other ones did. Kind of a thicker thigh, thinner leg coming down. Very long, you say, Julia. Okay. So what we can do for you is just kind of bring the body down a little bit more. Once you have everything done, you can kind of see it all together, and you can bring the belly down a little bit. Elks kind of have pretty long legs, though. You can see how big and long my legs are. But if you think they're too long, you can simply just kind of cover up more, kind of bring your V shapes down a little bit by covering in that negative space. Covering up the negative space, and then that way it looks a little more, little shorter in the legs. Okay, I'm just bringing it back up. I'm again kind of widening that thigh a little bit on the right-hand side. See that little bumpy there? We're just kind of bumping her out a bit, giving it some thickness. I actually like, though. Okay, yeah, if you like it, Julia, then I would keep it. There you go. You said earlier it looked bad, and I didn't want you thinking it looked bad. If it looks good, though, in your eyes, keep it for sure. It's a nice lengthy elk. All right, so at this point, everybody, we're pretty much just doing a very, like, casual angled line down, kind of curving into the thigh. So we're really just connecting this last piece here with a nice long curve or a long line. So you can start wherever you want. Maybe I'll start from the top. I'm just going to come down and over to the right a little bit. So it's kind of matching up with the thigh. And then I'm going to kind of curve it in into the thigh there. You can see there's a little bit of a bump, like it's nice furry coat. And then it has a little bump on the thigh there. There we go. And now it's all connected. So you can now fill it in. You could have filled it in, I guess, as you were going, but I personally like to outline everything and then fill it in to see how it's looking. At this stage, it still might look a little wonky because we're missing a few key elements. We're missing the ears, we're missing the antlers, of course, and we're missing the highlights. And the highlights are going to do a lot for the shape because it's going to show us kind of where the neck is versus the back end. Right now, this looks like all one weird shape, right? But when we add all those details, you'll start to see where everything kind of moves forward or comes back, right? So again, I would just try your best to look at the overall shape of the elk in my reference, and as long as it's looking similar to that, I would keep going at this stage. I would keep going and trust that we're gonna kind of make him look a little more, yeah, a little more realistic, a little more like you want him to look. And then you can adjust again a little closer to the end when you have a better idea of everything all together, right? Because it will still look a little funny. Nice lamp, thanks, he's glowing. He's a beautiful lamp, okay? Okay. So I'm gonna add again my little details. So we have the ears and we have the antlers. I'll get those on and then we can do the little highlights on top. It's a weird animal. He's very bulky, he's very thick. Nothing wrong with the thickness, but yeah, it's a little hard to paint. We got him though. So for the ears are quite big as well. Look how big these are. Like the left-hand ear almost goes to the edge of the butt here. See how long that is? If I bring my mouse down, whoa, pretty big. If you want to use a smaller brush at this point, that might be a good idea. I'm going to keep using this brush just because I like this brush, but if you want a smaller one for the thinner shapes, you can obviously do that. But yeah, these ears, I would say you can see they're flat along the top, relatively flat. There's maybe a tiny bit of a bump, but mostly flat. And then on the bottom, I like to kind of curve them down and around and in. They all angle just a little bit kind of up to the left or up to the right. They're not going straight out. They're not going straight up and down. They're going just slightly up to the left, slightly up to the right. I'm going to start just below the top of the head. So we have that little line down. Then we can start the ear right around there. Coming out. So relatively straight line coming out. You keep a nice tip on the end of the ear. And then you kind of do a nice curve down and in. Fill it in, see how it looks. I'm going to make that even thicker. I'm going to make even a bigger curve coming down and in. Big ear. Big ear. Yeah, maybe we should add the ears. It's like a Doberman Pinscher right now. Pinscher. Oh my god, it's a Boston Dynamics. No, 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 no. Look at it. Okay, I'm doing the other one, same thing. Relatively straight along the top, kind of coming up to the right. I'm trying to make it about the same length. If you want to kind of measure with your fingers just roughly, that might help. And then we come down and in. There we go. I'm gonna make mine have a bigger booty. I already know that I want a bigger booty, so I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Yeah, he's rounder. Cool, cool, cool. So that's our little ears done. It is a good fact, Luke. Fun fact. It's not a sandwich. Don't start. Don't start. Don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. Listen. It's not, Julia. It's not. Don't feed into it. I'm scared, man. I'm scared about how we treat those things and how they're gonna rise up and punish us for all the experiments and videos we've done with the Boston Dynamics dogs. Yikes. Yikes, CC. That's what I'm talking about, CJ. They're gonna, yeah, rise up. They're not happy about that. Oh, Julia, you're fine. Don't worry about it. They're just joking. They're just kidding. Alright, I'm gonna do some antlers now. I'm gonna zoom out just so we can see the antlers as a whole. Pretty much what I do, they're kind of like tree branches, right? You want to start with a nice thick one, and then you're gonna add kind of thin twigs on them just to give a little more shape and style. So my main trunk, I would say, is like this thing right here, kind of curving all the way up. It stays nice and tight to the head and the ear, and then eventually starts to curve up as it gets further away. Same thing on the other side. We want to try our best to keep them symmetrical. So I'm, again, using my medium round brush. If you want to use a tiny brush, you certainly could. But I'm starting just to the right of the middle, so kind of like framing the sun again. I'm kind of going on the right-hand edge of the sun. I'm going to start by bringing it across very tight, close to the ear. See how I leave just a little bit of a gap there? And then as it comes out, it's going to slowly start to curve up, 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 until it starts to come pretty much straight up and has a nice little tip at the end. Nice and big. You can make it as big or as small as you want. I like to keep them nice and big and beautiful. But yeah, I would say it's pretty much the same consistency all the way, and then comes to a nice little tip at the end. Same thing on the other side. coming across. And depending on where you've put your elk, your antler might kind of fall off of the canvas. It might kind of stay on the canvas. In my original, it fell off of the canvas, but in this one, I think to match this one, I'm going to need to curve it a little quicker. So I'm going to start to curve it up, up, up. And try my best to match it to the other side. Pretty similar. This one's a little higher, so you can kind of bring this one up a little bit maybe. There we go. Relatively similar. Dogs in the oil fields. Oh, have you seen those, Cindy? The Boston Dynamics dogs? They're creepy. They're like really, really high-tech robots. Their movements are very, very scary looking. Just in a you know, in a good way, I guess. Like it's, I don't know. They're very, yeah, they make me uncomfortable to watch. That's all I'm gonna say. Sounds good, Lori. I'll see ya. No poop off. No. She's popping off, not pooping off. Yeah, type in Boston Dynamic dog into Google, Cindy, and you can see what they're all about. They're just yeah, they're high tech. They can open doors. They can do a lot of things. And yeah, Doe thinks they're cute. They creep me the heck out. All right, so what we can do now is we can add some little, again, like small little branches to these antlers. Again, I really think of them as trees. So we're adding our little branches now. So again, we want to keep it symmetrical. So whatever you do to one side, do it to the other side as close as possible. So I'm going to do like a nice curved one kind of coming up from this side. So coming on the kind of inside of the antler. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, kind of curving down the other way, mirrored, I guess. So you got those two. We got a little small one right here, small one right here. I kept those a little tighter to the antler so they're not coming kind of straight up, they're kind of coming level to the antler. Got one on the inside here so it looks like it's splitting. I'll do another on the inside there like this one is splitting. And you can see I'm starting from the tip coming down. You can do either. You can do tip coming down or the base coming up, kind of like we did our trees. It's really whatever you prefer. Looks like I did a small one kind of coming out to the right here. So I'll come out to the left there. And maybe a teeny one right here. Teeny, teeny. Cool. So yeah, I think it's best not to overwhelm it too much. You can see I added 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 little branches or 5 little extensions of the antlers. I would keep it around that number. You can do maybe a couple more or a couple less, but I think it's best not to overwhelm it too much. And that's the basic shape. So at this point, you can definitely have a look at the shape. If anything's kind of throwing you off, you can think about what it is. Just kind of look all around the shape, see what's going on. Again, my back end, I still want to make a little bigger. I'm going to kind of flatten out the top, bring it down like this, and then bring it in. That looks a little better. I think on mine, everything else is looking pretty solid. Just making sure the legs are matching up so they're all kind of entering the snow at the same time. Yeah, and I think the neck is fine. Yeah, I'm going to leave them as is. So take a moment to have a look at your elk, see how it looks kind of again from the whole silhouette. If you're looking for something to do in the meantime, if you're all done like me, you can add some little footprints in the snow if you want. I'm just taking my brush and doing some horizontal strokes just anywhere I want. So I'm kind of pretending that my elk came from the left-hand side and is coming in. So I'm doing a couple little very spaced out strokes to make it look like he was pawing his way through the snow. And I also liked adding a couple over here as if maybe there was another elk. And I kind of do them in pairs. You can kind of see I match them up a little bit, but not much because he has 4 legs, right? So the prints are really going to be everywhere. I wouldn't worry too much about how they're looking. And that was with the same color. Oh, what am I missing here? Wait. When was that added? Oh, it was the leader. I remember now. Okay, never mind, never mind. I panicked for a second. I was like, what is that? They can dance? No. Everyone kicks on, you compare. They get poop off of being the same. Ah! You're tired of painting, Julia? We're almost there. If you want to take a break, you're for sure welcome to. You can always follow along another time if you're just too tired. I know we're a little bit past 10 at this point, but we don't have too much to go. So it depends how you feel. If you want to power through, you can. If you think you're just too tired to paint, I wouldn't force it. You can always paint another time if you need to. Alright, so what we're going to do now, everybody, is we're going to go into a kind of medium purple color. So again, I was talking about doing 3 shades of purple. We have the first one already done. It's the very, very dark purple. Thanks for alert, K9. We have the very, very dark purple. We're going to add in our medium purple, kind of just in little V shapes and small little strokes as well to get lots of little fur going in there, excuse me. Kind of highlighting the face a little bit. That's all with the medium purple. And then we have a nice very, very light purple just to give some highlights on the fur, give a few extra little brush strokes to make it look nice and textured everywhere. So I'm going to take my medium brush again. I like using the medium brush still for all of this. If you want to use a tiny brush, small round brush, that would work as well. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm just adding some white to my existing dark purple. See how it looks a little bit lighter now compared to the dark stuff there? That's what I'm doing, just grabbing a medium purple. And again, it's more of a bluish tone purple if you like what I'm doing here. But again, as long as you're adding white to whatever you were just using, that'll kind of keep it in the same tone there. Thanks to lurk, Julia. Too tired. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. All good. Concentrate on painting. That sounds good. All right, so I'll kind of walk you through where I'm putting this because I put a lot of this on here and kind of leave the darker parts alone so that it creates some nice shading. So essentially, if we want to look at the darker parts, we kind of keep the dark parts near the legs here. You can see how dark it is in here. And then we have some stripes of darkness. So we're going to add some stripes of the medium purple in order to create those shapes there. So first of all, let's kind of go on the butt area here. I can even zoom you in on my elk so we can see that a little bit better. Let's see if I can do that here. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Alright, so we're going to use the medium purple. Again, I like to use little brush strokes, so I'll be doing lots of these little things, just small little brush strokes. First place I'm going is just to the right of the butt. I want to keep a nice dark outline on the left, so I'm going a little further in. Stroke, 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 stroke. And if your paint is still wet, that's okay, by the way, so don't worry if the dark purple is still a little bit wet. Just kind of stroking that in. Right around there. So that's kind of the back end of the elk, right? We've kind of separated the kind of neck and front area from the back end. We're trying to keep this over here. And then what we can do is we can keep using that color and we can create all these little V shapes here. See all these V's? It's kind of like the coat, right? Coming down the neck and kind of meeting in the middle. So I'm going to start a little higher up from the very bottom here, like this is the bottom here, right? Kind of that bottom edge close to the leg there. We're going to go a little higher up, do some strokes coming down in a V shape. So my strokes themselves are coming just down, but I'm lining them up so they come down in a V shape. So they're angling down, 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 and then you can bring them up, up, up on the other side. Again, we want that bottom of the V, or I guess the point of the V, to be pretty much in the center. So you can, again, kind of look up to your head here, try and find the center of the head, and make sure that V shape is kind of centered that way. Gotcha, K9. Yep, no worries. Stripes of darkness, my sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phoenix. Try it out. I'll be doing this a couple more times. You can see there's quite a few V shapes in here. So again, I'm leaving a little bit of a gap for a nice dark V shape, which is just sitting there. And then we're doing a nice medium purple V shape right above it. There it goes. And you can see I'm doing all the little strokes so we get a little more of like a fur texture, right? We get all these little points kind of going up and down as we stroke our brush. And I think I can fit one more in there. Yeah, I'm going to fit one more in because this is still all the neck up here, right? We're going to shape out the head in a second. But for now, we can do one more little bit of fur in the neck. And then come back up. So yeah, very stripey. It'll look a little less stripey, by the way, too, when we put the highlights in, because that'll kind of separate all of these a little bit more. It'll be a nice thin layer of the light purple. Right now, it's all very, like, the same width all the way up. But when we add those small little strokes of the light purple, it'll break it up a little bit more. Okay, so now what we can do is we can start to shape out the actual head and snout area. So you can see that here. Pretty much what we do is we're just doing angled lines coming in and then a nice little round snout. So we're kind of coming down and over. We'll do a nice little almost U shape underneath in the middle and then up and over to the other side. This all starts from this little edge here and this edge here. So remember that little bump that we made here and here? That's kind of our reference points for where to start the snout. They come down into here. So I'm going to use this color here, this nice medium purple. I'm just going to do some strokes coming down, down. And then we have a nice round shape at the bottom for the nice snout. So kind of like a U shape coming down and around. See it there? It's starting to come a little bit more forward. We can see the actual snout and head. Now I'm just going to start to fill in the head a little bit more with this color. We want to add a little more of this medium purple in here. I like to leave kind of the top of the head nice and dark. I like to leave the snout nice and dark inside here. And I'm just very messily adding in some of this color here. It's not super necessary where we're adding it right now. I'm going to go more in the middle of the ears. I would say rule of thumb is generally that we're kind of keeping the outsides a little darker and then keeping the insides a little bit lighter. So again, you can see I filled in kind of the middles of the ears. Maybe I'll bring this down on the snout here. The one exception, I guess, is the snout. I like to keep it a little darker. And there we are. You can see again, a little messier in the head. We're not too worried about that because we'll be using the lighter colors to really sketch out everything and the darker colors to add like the nostrils and the eyes as well. And we can always go back and re-add darkness if we need to, but for now, that's generally what we've done. We've kept the darkness in the snout and coming up the snout there. Oh, and then one more spot we want to add this. I almost forgot. I did add some to the antlers, just so it gives a little bit of a highlight. So just like small little lines with your brush kind of following along the inside edges because those are closest to the sunshine, right? So I'm just using that medium purple still, following along those inside edges closest to the sun. You don't need to hit every single one. I just like to do a couple little brush strokes here and there, and then you get a little bit of a difference of color in the antlers. And if you want even more drastic difference, you could wait for the next color, the nice light purple, and use that, and that'll give a very, very drastic difference for you. Oh, that would be perfect, Phoenix. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so I'll just give a minute or two if you're still adding that, and then we have the last shade of purple, which is a very, very light purple, just to finish off this elk here, and then we have one tiny detail of like the black in here for the eyes and the nostrils. So I'm going to keep this nice and zoomed in, I think, for you now. And then I'll zoom out at the end to kind of show everything at once here, but I think it's helpful to have this right here for the meantime. If you are all done with the medium purple, you can start to mix your light purple by using more white in your existing purple, and you can see that creates a very, very light bluish purple. It's like a gray purple, almost bluish purple. And I have switched, of course, to my teeny tiny brush now because you can see where we add these highlights is just very minimal. So I don't really care to use my medium round anymore. We're going to use the teeny tiny brush. Okay, and I'll map out exactly where we're going with that. So essentially, I like to think of this as, again, highlighting kind of almost the outsides of the elk here and there. So you can see we highlight the neck, for example. We kind of bring in small little strokes just to add a highlight to some of the V shapes. Kind of bringing down here is especially important because this shows the viewer that the neck continues down in front of the rump area. And then I'll kind of go through the face a little bit more. No more medium round. Ah, don't you worry. He will be used another time. All right, so let's start on the rump area here. I like to give just a little bit of a highlight on the bum bum. And I'm once again doing small little brush strokes. I would say the only difference this time is that I very much spaced them out. Very much spaced them out. We don't want them to be all kind of together like the other ones were. I'm trying my best to use the very tip of the brush and do some very thin small strokes all close together. So you still see some gaps in them, but they're all kind of lining up in a certain way. So I just do a little bit on the rump. It's kind of in between the dark purple and medium purple. It's just kind of highlighting that edge there. That's one. Welcome back, Shay. I returned from eating pizza, watching TV. Excellent. What kind of pizza did you get? Thank you, Shay. Trout, nice to see you. Hello, hello. Liking it so far? Yes. Hands up, hands up. Really nice to see you. How's your day been? Okay, next I'm going to highlight just the neck area here. So kind of like coming down and again into the body. We want to show the viewer that this neck comes down and in, right? It's, yeah, the foreground here. Separate area of the elk, kind of separate section. So we're going to use that light purple to help map that out for the viewer. We can see that neck coming down further. Again, small little brush strokes. Onion, mushroom, green pepper. Yo, that's pretty much what I have. I know you're vegetarian, so you don't eat meat, but I usually put like one meat on that, and that's pretty much mine. Sometimes broccoli, though, too. It depends what's available. Not all the pizza places have broccoli, but I love some broccoli on mine, too. Busy, week from hell. Good to relax and watch. Yo, I'm glad you're here, then. Yeah, I'm glad you can relax a little bit. Was it just work-related, I assume? If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. Week from hell. Oh, man. I think quite a few people were having some bad weeks. Oh, Charlene, how can I help you, though? I'm going to start doing some little individual strokes kind of, again, in between the V shape. So by in between, I mean when there's like a medium purple and a dark purple, I just kind of separate them a little bit. Again, to make it look a little less stripy, I'm just kind of separating with a little bit of a highlight in between. Again, very, very spaced out strokes. I don't want to line these all up. They're more so just highlighting little pieces of fur. Very lightly stroking. Yeah, so it still kind of looks a little stripy, but I think it splits it up a little bit. I especially like to extend the tips a little bit more coming down. I think that looks nice. Do I think one more up here? Yep, this one can fit right in there. And again, it's not a hard rule. If you want to add more highlights, you certainly can. If you want to kind of move all these little strokes around a little bit, make them less in line, certainly could. I'll add maybe a tiny bit down here. Again, it's kind of like if you have a really blank spot and it just doesn't look great, not a lot going on, just do a couple little strokes there, see how it looks. It just adds a little more texture to certain areas. Maybe over here would be nice. You can even make them kind of come off of the elk outline so that you don't have a nice, you know, thick edge, or a nice clean edge, I should say. You want to maybe add some fur kind of coming off so you get all those little pieces on the side. There's that there. Maybe a little more over here. Don't know if I've ever had broccoli. Oh yeah, yeah, certain places have it. I know Jen has talked about this too. She loves broccoli on pizza. Yeah, everyone else had the same. Yeah. I hope it's a good weekend, Trout. That's a good outlook there. It's got to be a good weekend if you had such a week from hell, you know? It's got to be better. Make some plans for yourself, you know? Treat yourself to a nice meal or something, or play some games. Get something ready. It's going to be a good weekend. Okay, and then you can see the light purple in the facial area. It really helps highlight the snout, so I'll go through this part nice and slow for you. Essentially, we can use the shapes that we made with our medium purple there and just highlight them a little bit. So I'm going to highlight especially this kind of U shape that we made. So we're starting down here. I'm just kind of sketching out the nice round snout, so we can really see it on top of everything else. And then what I do is I bring it up into the face and curve it out a little bit. So nice long snout curving out like that. So now we see that overall shape a little bit better. Oh yeah, feeling the stress, Phoenix? Take a nice little day off, stay in a little bit. Relax. I then kind of highlight the bottom of the snout here, so I just kind of fill it in a little bit with that color. See how it gets a little bit thicker there? It's kind of like the bottom chin area. And then I also like to highlight where the nose is, so the nose is right in here. So what I do is I just kind of curve in a little bit, a little higher up, and now you've created a nice kind of round nose on top of the snout. So we have the shape of the nose and the snout, but we have the actual nose sitting right around there. I also like to use this shade to kind of outline where the eyes will go, so just by doing small little strokes, kind of right on the very outside where that bump is, on either side. Just kind of going around where the eye will go. They might look a little messy for now, but once you put the black in the middle, that'll help kind of shape it up a little bit better. They're kind of almond shape. I'll go through the eyes a little bit better when we do the black detailing last. But for now, we're just kind of very roughly kind of bringing this light purple out and around, and then the black will fill it in. I claim a good weekend for all of us. Bless you, Trout. Trout has said it, it shall be. Phoenix, I think that's good. Yeah, give yourself a little rest. Exactly. Okay, and then the only other spots that I add this very light color is just very lightly, sporadically throughout the face. So again, maybe you want a couple little hairs coming off the side here. I like to add some kind of going along the forehead here, just as a slight little highlight. Again, very lightly, very thin. Maybe a little in the ears, kind of just sprawling along the outsides. Kind of outside middle, I guess. Makes them just look a little fuzzier. And yeah, I mean, acrylic paint is great because if you want to go over anything, you certainly could. So if you don't like a certain highlight, I'm just kind of looking at this. I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I'm going to add a little bit more and see. But essentially, if I don't like something, I can just use a previous color and overlap it. So I can use like a nice medium purple. And you can kind of overlap things. I'm just going to like break these up a little bit more with a nice medium purple. Now they kind of disappear again, right? You can do that with anything. If anything is too thick, just overlap. You don't need to see it anymore. It's fine. Adjust as you will. Shez, welcome in. Shez Sarah. Shay Sarah. Shez versus Shay. I guess Shay would be the French, right? Welcome in. Yeah, if you have any questions about what we're doing right now, let me know. You're about to have a face painting. What does that mean? Gonna paint your face? Yeah, Alvin, I would say that's a good call. Yeah, I would just keep pushing for that you're not feeling super hot. Even if it means you saying just like, I'm not up for it because of that, maybe just go with that route if she's not understanding that it's just not a good idea. I think you're making the right call there, absolutely. My face, the paint in this canvas. Oh, you can do it. We're almost there. We're almost there. We've honestly just got the last step here of adding the black detail, so I'm going to do that right now before it turns into a face painting. And then we can check in with everybody here and like zoom out and see how everything's looking in general. Ooh, this is clogged. There it goes. Ugh. A little dollop, just a little dollop. So yeah, we add some black detailing here, very minimal. I left the black for last just for the nice little features of the elk. We have the eyes and the nostrils. So the eyes are pretty much just kind of tilted almond shapes, or even just tilted ovals, you could say. So they kind of tilt in like this. And again, they stick very close to the outsides of the face. So I'm keeping it very close to the outside right-hand side, right where that bump is. You can see how adding the black in the middle has now cleaned up the outside a little bit. That's what I meant by overlapping and kind of cleaning up things. I'll add one right here. So little almonds or ovals, you know, the almonds just have little tips at the ends, or you can just make it very nice and round and oval shape. But those are the two eyes. And then for the nose, I just like to add little nostrils in here. So I just use a little bit of black to do a nice small oval shape, kind of bordering where the light purple and medium purple meet. So it's not quite at the very edge of the nose. It's kind of a little bit further in. And I do two little nostrils, one there, one there. And I technically did a little bit of a smile, so I will do that too. I can see that there now. Oops. There's a little nick of the blue there. For the smile, I just kind of use the black and I do almost like a little cat smile. It kind of like comes down and curves out a little bit. So it looks like it's kind of separating the nose from the mouth here. See that? So I started in the middle. I kind of curved down and over. Down and over. You can now see a little bit of separation from the nose and the little chin area. It kind of tucks in underneath. Oh, his face, Charlene. Sad face. Do you want to send me a photo over Facebook and I can help you if you think you need it? Super round, says Booby. I kind of like that idea though. Nice round boy elk. I honestly really like that. If you think he's too round in certain areas, Booby, like maybe just as an example, if he's too round in the butt, I don't know, maybe he's a big butt, you can simply let that dry, and then you can use the ice color, so this very light blue, and use that to shape up the butt or anything else you need. So you're essentially taking the background color and just overlapping what you need to shrink up. If you don't like how round he is, I would say let him live his round life, but if you think he's too round, yeah, just use any of that light blue, or if it's down here a nice light purple, you can overlap and it'll definitely cover it up. Oops, I grabbed some blue there by accident. Whoopsie. Oh. Quick battery change. That was technically the last step, but I'm just going to change out the battery so you can, of course, see this elk still. It's because we went a little overtime. We've got a second battery change tonight. Oh my goodness. There it goes. Cool. All right, the other thing I'm going to do is zoom you out so you can see the whole painting together now. All in this together. All in this together. Almost there. Ta-da! And then we can resize this one. You can see the whole thing at once there. Cool. And there we have it. So for the last step, I always recommend the last bonus step is to sign your painting. So I would grab any of the colors you've used. I kind of like to use a color at least in the painting. Maybe I'll do the light purple. Do a quick little signature in the bottom corner, and I encourage you to as well to sign that off, claim it as yours if you are done painting. If you're still painting, of course, keep painting. I would say the signature is the last step to really finalize everything. So keep going until you're done. But otherwise, I'm done, so I signed it. Yeah, that's me. I'm going to catch up on chat here, and then I'll do some little closing wrap-up announcements, just if you're curious about when the next time I'm on is, or, yeah, where you can post photos and things. I'll explain all that in a second. I read your whole thing, Shay. I'm not in the same situation, but I can understand how that's super frustrating. So you're not coming? Boop. I get it, Elvin. His butt is beautiful. I agree. If Booby was saying the butt is super round, I'm gonna say let him live his round life. Absolutely. I don't think it's cheating, Elvin. You've been so consistent thus far, and I think if you catch right up again, it's not cheating at all. You're fine. I wouldn't force yourself to paint. It never is a good time, honestly, when you're not feeling it and you're like, but I have to. It doesn't turn out, you know? Don't think of it as cheating. It's just kind of what you need. Welcome back, Jen. Checking things out looks great. Thank you. How's your evening going? You're welcome, Fab. Yeah, it's not cheating. All right, yeah, chat's caught up. So, yeah, if anyone is interested in, I guess, first of all, posting any photos, I'll give you a little photos information there. I would recommend going to Facebook. I would say that's where the most photos are posted. So you can look for this event page from today. And I'm just opening up for posting right now. That's why I'm clicking around here. Update. And it's open. There we go. So if you want to post in the event page under the discussion, that's great. That way you can see everyone else's beautiful photos and post yours to show off to everybody. It's a nice way to share. You can share on Instagram. You can share on Discord. Discord's a great spot. We have our nice art share channel there. That's where we share not just tutorial art, but any and all art. So you're welcome to do that. Yeah, those are all great spots to post some photos. If you're interested in another tutorial, I've got one next Friday, same time, same place, 8 p.m. here on Twitch, 8 p.m. EST. It's this nice kind of splashy plant painting, a little bit different than what I usually do. Usually I'm covering like the whole canvas and lots of colors, but this time we're going to create more of like a watercolor look. So this is using acrylics. It's just using very watered down acrylics, and I like to splash it on and get very messy. And then I outline everything to kind of clean it up. So it's kind of a fun technique because you can get super messy with it all and then clean it all up right at the end. It's very satisfying, in my opinion, to put those lines on. And honestly, it looks good even without the lines if you kind of keep it all messy and have a little bit of a theme going on. So I'm really excited to see how people will handle this one, because I think there's lots of different things you can do with it. Like you can stop at certain steps and still have a beautiful painting. So that'll be next Friday at 8 p.m. If you want any of my past tutorials, they're all on YouTube. You can check them out, youtube.com/erinbunpaints. This one will be on YouTube as well. I'm a little behind on posting right now, but otherwise you can expect to see it in the next couple weeks at the latest, I would say. So yeah, just being here really helps me. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in live. I can't stress enough how tuning in live really, really helps me. So if you're painting along live, or even if you're just here watching, it's very, very helpful. So thank you so much for coming out. If you're wanting to support me even further past just watching me, I see Gray just put the tips links in the chat there. Thank you, Gray. You're welcome to tip me if you want to financially compensate me for my time. It is not expected. It's just always appreciated. I do these with the full intention of them being free. However, tips are nice, honestly. Interact e-transfer is there. There's some bits right there. I told you to stop. Thank you, Wood. We have the e-transfer. We have the PayPal link. We have a Streamlabs credit card link. That means if you donate via Streamlabs, you'll actually get a little notification live on stream right now. So I can say thank you to you and like shout you out and give you lots and lots of thank yous. It's a fun little way to donate. Oops, he says. Oops. My hand slipped. Thank you, though. Thank you very much. Bits are a way to donate as well, for those wondering what bits are. They're essentially like Twitch currency. Trout, oops, again, thank you very much. So those are people donating bits for my time. Again, bits are like Twitch currency. You can kind of like pay for bits through Twitch, and then you have bits to use on my channel or any other channel. They're like a quick and easy way to show some support, so it's fun. But yeah, thank you both of you, Wood and Trout, for that. And another way to support me is by subscribing. Twitch has a subscription option. You can kind of see it in the bottom right corner. You can subscribe for a monthly fee. You can either do it once for 1 month, or you can do it continuously automatically like any other subscription. And it helps me. Yeah, it's just a little bit of extra income throughout the month. It's very, very minimal, but all of it helps all put together. You can subscribe for a fee, or you're welcome to subscribe for free. Why wouldn't you want to subscribe for free? If you have Amazon Prime, you can do it 100% for free. Amazon Prime gives you 1 free subscription per month, and yeah, you're welcome to use it on me if you like, or another creator on Twitch. I would recommend using it either way, though. We want to make sure we're using our free Prime subscriptions. Alvin, thank you very much. Give, please. It's another hype train. Get out of here. We've already had one today. Thank you, Alvin, for 100 bits. We've got another hype train going. Hype trains happen when people are showing support, and then, yeah, here we go. Shay's got some coming in. My gosh, my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. Thank you, Shay, for 145 bits with the little love. And thank you, James, for gifting a sub to Trout. For those wondering what gifting a subscription means, it means simply kind of giving support on someone else's behalf. So James was already subscribed to me. Thank you, James. He wanted someone else to be subscribed to me, so he gave a subscription to Trout. He paid for Trout on the behalf of supporting me, and now Trout gets benefits of a subscription, like ad-free viewing and using my emotes and stuff like that. So yeah, subscribing also gives you a few little perks as well. Gray, thank you for 100. Skull Queen, thank you for 100 bits. Both of you, thank you very, very much. Lots of hype. Shay is gifting to Booby Trap. Thank you, Shay. Booby Trap, you're a bun now. Shay gifted on your behalf. You guys, you guys. This is the second hype train today. That's all my announcements. I'll keep thanking everybody for the hype here, my gosh. But I want to make sure I'm catching up on comments as well. So thank you for those who came. If you need to go, I understand. I'm just going to make sure we're all good here.